If you are ready to learn something new, then let's go ahead and do that. You will actually notice I've moved my office around a little bit for a good reason. Now, what is that good reason? Well, this is where I'm hosting my retreat. You see, I don't know if you can see this, excuse the mess, but we've got these reclining chairs. And what are the reclining chairs for? It's for 6 people to attend 4 days with me. It's going to be absolutely epic. It's actually happening in next month. So we're only a few weeks away before life's a change and you get to hang out with me in my home to do crazy cool things, even socialize. We're going to be going out, we're going on hikes, we're going to be eating out together, getting juices. It's a total mind and body transformation. So it's going to be absolutely epic. We're going to make big changes. So if you are ready to learn something new, to not just improve, to but absolutely change, let's go to it right now. You see, today I want to talk to you about ultimately the lack of happiness. You see, many people go through life and they experience the self-doubt, the worry, the fear. They wake up in the morning and they just think, I really do not want to take on the day. I don't feel as if things are going to come my way. I feel as if it's adding more stress and it's bringing me down compared to how it should be lifting me up. You see, I used to be just like that. I remember going to school even, dreading the thought of a day. And I'd be so looking forward to the Fridays. I'll be just thinking, now I can just relax. And it all went through college. I mean, college was a little bit better because it was maybe like 3 days a week. So extended my weekend. But then I had to get a full-time job. And do you know what? That was stressful to me. Every morning I woke up and I thought, how am I going to get through the day? How am I going to really experience what I want to experience with this fear in my system, with the self-doubt saying, what are people going to be thinking of me? How am I going to be speaking? Is my voice going to crack? Am I going to blush? Am I going to feel rejection? Am I going to feel self-doubt? Am I going to experience the same old things that I always feel? And it was a pivotal moment in my life because, you know, when things get really tough and we almost feel like we're going for a breakdown. So we're going through a crisis in our life where we're just thinking, I cannot take this any longer. The stress, the worry, the doubt, the fear, I've just had enough of it. And it's interesting. I don't know if the stat's still true. It might have changed now. But I think that 80% of all heart attacks in America happen on one day of the week. And the interesting thing is, it's not in any other species. It's only humans who experience this because we are conditioned by dates, we're conditioned by time, and we have certain duties. Now, guess what day it lands on when heart attacks usually happen? It's on Monday mornings. Monday mornings between 8 and 9 a.m. are the majority, I think it's around 80%. Actually happen in that time of that 1 hour on that Monday. How crazy is that? That, of course, diet and everything else contributes to it, but you know what? Something deeper than that. It is not a coincidence that it happens on those Mondays when we're thinking about work and we're dreading it and we're experiencing the belief of not being good enough. As if have you ever felt this one? There's what I used to feel. That I'm going to be found out for being a fraud, as if like they're going to figure out that actually I'm terrible at my job. They're going to figure out actually he is useless. It's so common in today's society that we experience that dread and that self-doubt about what we're doing in our life. And that is what I'm really talking about today. What are you doing in your life? Are you waking up and enjoying the feeling of preparation, the feeling of just taking the day up and just turning up your enthusiasm to just enjoy every moment. Because I'll tell you this, I did experience all that I've just said. I experienced the doubt, and then I made a decision that nothing could keep on going this way. If I kept on doing this, living the mediocre life, the life of stress, the life of anxiety, the life of worry, the self-doubt, I was not going to experience what life was meant to be. You see, as children, we think limitlessly. We think as if anything is possible, and then somehow along the way, we lose our dream. As if reality is saying you're not good enough to go for your dreams. You're not capable. And do you know what it really is? It's that little voice on the inside. Yes, it might have been conditioned from past experiences. It might have been conditioned from your parents or the people you surround yourself. Even right now, you may be surrounding yourself with people which is contributing to that. And I experienced it. But do you know what's completely different with my life right now? I never, ever set an alarm clock. I never do, unless I'm going like vacation, holiday, and then I've got to get up at a certain time because obviously you don't want to miss a flight or anything. But I never set an alarm. Do you know why? My mind wakes me up and goes, Joseph, it's time to go. And I'm so excited to just live life. To live life with passion and purpose. You see, unhappiness can be a contribution from all those things which happened in the past. Our thoughts, our feelings, our self-doubt, our lack of belief. But one of the big things which we don't really talk about, and that is what we are doing with our life. Where do those dreams go? When you thought you're going to be an astronaut, or were you going to be a superstar, or you're going to be a film star, or you just loved painting, loved drawing, and you were going to be the artist. Where did those dreams go? Why did we get conditioned that we weren't capable to go and achieve our dreams? To do the things which just lift us up rather than bring us down. You see, if you're in that place, like I was, where something had to change because I felt like I was going through a breakdown, it is time for a breakthrough. That's what it is. It's time. It's like everything, all the evidence in our environment, in our thoughts, in our feelings, in everything of our physiology. When they show up like that, and they show up as fear, and they show up as self-doubt, and they show up in our behaviors, well, it means to me that life is telling you that something has to change. Unfortunately, I'm going to just put it out there, probably 90-95% will just carry on living that dreaded life, carry on with the stress, carry on with the physical symptoms. Sorry, my computer just dropped down. Carry on with the physical symptoms of doing the exact same thing, experiencing the doubt, the worry, the fear, the conflict in the system, to the point where we get physically ill. I don't know about you, but many people experience things like migraines because of the stress, and the body is saying that you've got to get out of that situation. All it is a signal. Your body is telling you that something has to change, but if we don't pay attention to those signals, to those cues which are happening all the way around us in our environment, and they're actually there in our thoughts and our feelings, our physical ailments are telling us, they are signals to say that something is wrong. But many people push them to one side, try to bury them deep. Doesn't let them go there. You see, what resists persists. It gets stronger. And when I got to that point, I was like, I do not want to get taken out of this game. Like, that anxiety, that fear was so bad for me that I did not want to wake up in that doubt. I didn't want to live for the weekend. I didn't want to live for the idea that this is my life. This is what I'm going to be dealing with from now on. So I chose something different. Now, the interesting thing is that most people will not really consider that as an option to choose something different. Most people will think that this is how life is meant to be. You dream things as a kid and then you just destroy them and let them go. That is not what life is. Life is for you to be abundant. Life is for you to be passionate and purposeful. If you're not enjoying your present situation, if you're not waking up every single day just full of gratitude and thanks for being alive because you cannot wait to just bring yourself to your day, then something has to change. Now, no one can do that change for you. No one can make that change. Yeah, life can take you out of the game because of stress. You can take yourself out of that situation by being ill, or you can consciously make a decision to do something differently today. You see, you've got to discover the thing which makes you sing. You've got to discover the thing which wants you to really thrive in this world and make an impact. You see, anyone can make an impact. In fact, usually the situations of the fear, the doubt, the worry, all the symptoms, in other words, are wake-up calls all around us. We have to pay attention to those signals. If your present situation isn't right, you don't have to change your environment. You don't have to quit the job because you can't do it anymore. You try to take yourself out of the environment because it's too stressful. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is change what is happening in here. You've got to change your mind to change your results. But we've been so programmed that it now becomes unconscious. We become programmed that it feels like this is who I am. Not good enough, not worthy, not capable, fear of rejection, fear of failure. We've got to undo those social, unconscious belief patterns. You can't consciously change beliefs very well. It's pretty hard, right? Because if you could change right now, you'd probably just click your fingers and let it go. But if you cannot do that, it must mean we have to change our behaviors, our thoughts, and more importantly, our belief systems. The belief which is telling us that we're not worthy or good enough. The belief of the fear of rejection. You see, once you let go of those unconscious programs, those unconscious belief patterns, the thoughts we have on a consistent basis, when we change all that from the inside out, you will see a whole new different world because you're no longer distorting it through fear. You're no longer generalizing the anxiety. You're no longer deleting the opportunities which are always around you. So go ahead and make a commitment with me that you decide something new. Not just to improve, but to change. That you're all in the notion and the activation of making a difference in your life today. Because you know what really scares me? And what really scared me? That should I ever have any children in the future? Like when I was younger and I was thinking, well, what if I have children? And they see this father living in doubt. You see, we might think we might be covering it up and putting on a brave face, but the interesting thing is that most of communication is unconscious. So we're becoming examples to our children, those around us in our life, living that doubt. And guess what? The cycle continues. You may have noticed it maybe even in your parents or generations back. Unconsciously, we're picking up on those cues. And I refused to be an example of that. In fact, even if we do not want children, I refuse to be an example to anyone being that not good enough person. You've got to find something in your life that you'd be willing to do for fun and for free. Consider what's important to you. Now, if you had something to wake up to every day, something that you do every day, what would that consist of? Would it be something where it involves being outside? Would it be something which gives you excitement? Would it be something when you're working with people? Is it something where you're working at home? Is it something where you're working with animals? Is it something that you're doing something physically? You can choose and cultivate what you want. If you have a passion in your life, then do more of that. If you enjoy something, do more of that. But be sure to let go of those unconscious programs, because those will always hold you back. If you could change consciously, you would. If you cannot change just like that, it must mean it's an unconscious problem. And you have to meet the issue where it lives, the unconscious mind. So find the solution you need. You see, I've spent the last, 15 years? I started at 18 years old coaching people, hypnotizing people as for payment, so really professional. And I just hustled down. I decided to educate my mind. Having dropped out of college, having gone into a job I absolutely hated, I committed to do something that I really enjoyed, to discover the secret of how the mind works. You see, everything is a strategy. You see, people think that they're broken, that they're unfixable. They think that their behavior is their identity, and it makes sense because we say things to ourselves like, I am not good enough. I am not worthy. You see, those belief statements, the I ams, are just belief systems that we consider, but they're really just strategies. It's a strategy that we're repeating, whether it be a strategy of self-talk, a strategy of conditioning of the feelings that we're experiencing, which feel like cemented, which give us an identity of what we believe to be true. But that's not all who you are. And maybe you haven't always been that way, so it cannot be who you are. Maybe it's who you've become temporarily, but it doesn't have to be permanent. You see, when you begin to wake up to the most amazing thing, which is right in here, and you start to educate yourself with the right strategies. You start to educate yourself by turning off the things which are not adding value to your life as much or compared to the things which are adding value. You see, most people, if they invested as much time into what they put time into, like things like Netflix or socializing, drinking, eating out, doing all the things which is not really adding the deep, meaningful connection. It can be good, don't get me wrong, I love to eat out. I love socializing. I'm partial to a bit of Netflix. But if something was so important to my life, I'm gonna just go all in and make a decision to commit to myself, and I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to work on myself every day until I experience exactly what I want, which would be something like emotional freedom. But that decision has to be made consciously. So ask yourself, before we complain about our present situation, before we complain about our circumstance, before we complain that we act this way, that we behave in this way, that we experience something like this, before we keep on doing the same old thing, repeating the same old stories, realize you can choose something different. You see, I believe so much in you. I believe there's something so profound just waiting to be awakened. And when you begin to turn your attention from the outside world, away from the distractions, away from the people who are bringing you down, away from the excuses, the reasons, and the past, when you just turn your attention away from everything on the outside world and put your attention on what's happening on the inside world of you, and you start to build up a relationship with yourself where you give yourself the right care, where you give yourself the right encouragement, where you give yourself the strategy that you need to make that consistent change, not to only achieve your goals, but to go for bigger and better goals each and every day. You see, we are limitless in our potentiality. You have the ability to do so many things. But when we've got this perception filter of I am not good enough, and we're thinking, what are people going to say about me? We are seeing that reality. We are deleting all the experiences. So we've got to take that off and turn our attention to something new. Turn our attention to what is good and what is right. Now, what is good and what is right? That is your happiness. That is your health. Refuse to be a statistic, like I mentioned right in the beginning, where people are more likely to have a heart attack on a Monday between 8 and 9 a.m. And there's no coincidence there. It's because we're not living a life of purpose. We're not living a life of happiness. We're not living a life of freedom, which is giving us life. You see, if you're not growing, ultimately, we're dying. If you're not expanding your mind, we're decreasing. If you're not flexing your neural networks, the synaptic gap, the neuroplasticity, if we're not flexing those things, they too are becoming less and less with each passing moment. And once again, we have a choice. That's the beautiful thing about it. Despite our environment, despite our circumstance, despite the past, because we've all been through stuff. Some things have been horrible to us. Sometimes people have been horrible to us. We go through experiences and they're horrible. That's life. But you know what else is life? Your ability to change, your ability to adapt, your ability to evolve, your ability to grow, your ability to choose something different. Because we always have two options. We have the road of the past going off out into our future, living the same old way continuously. Or we got the other road, one of possibility, one of discovering more about yourself. I wonder sometimes what would happen if I carried on doing what I used to do, where I'd be right now. Would I be living a life of happiness, of gratitude? Would I be living a life of purpose? Or the path I was going down? No, I would not be here today. I would not have created a crazy cool podcast over the years, which has had over 8 million downloads, if I did not make that decision to do something differently. I would not have impacted many people in the world, and that is not trying to that's not ego, that is reality. Of course, the person on the other side listening or watching has to act and react to that advice and those strategies. Because if you're not willing to follow, if you're not willing to do what has to be done, then that means we stay stuck. But if I went down the same old route, I don't even know if I'd be here. Because that depression, that worry, that fear, that lack of life, that lack of purpose was horrible. But now, things are different. And it came from a decision. That's all it starts with. A decision. That's all. Forget about even the how. I'll give you the how, but forget about the how. All you have to do is make the commitment to yourself that there's something more out there. There is something more profound for you to experience. You see, I want you to experience what I experience, which is not only waking up with purpose Not only loving doing what I'm 12 hours straight and I'm still full of energy. I don't want you that just for you. I want you to experience a deep connection with yourself, where you experience that deep peace, inner contentment, fulfillment, happiness, all of those amazing feelings. Maybe you've been craving them right now. Maybe you're waiting to make that decision. But let's not wait. Make a decision today, make a commitment, and just really go, look, I'm all in on this. I am all in. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and I'm gonna start to make a change. It doesn't mean we quit our job. It doesn't mean that we have to throw everything in. We just have to make a decision to do something different, to begin to meet the issue where it lives, the unconscious mind, to make a decision to commit to yourself and something greater than you, where you can feel that sense of belonging, where you feel that support, where you feel that drive and that momentum each and every day, where you're just growing rather than the dying, rather than the decreasing of your happiness. Life should be bringing you happiness, but you have to bring yourself to life for that to happen. You've got to bring it to the table. You really do. No one could do it for you. You could be on one of these chairs right now, where we're having the retreat. You could be on one of those chairs. I could be saying the most wonderful hypnotic presuppositions, all the hypnotic language patterns. But if you're not willing to listen, if you're not willing to learn, nothing happens. So what comes first is the decision to not improve, but to change. The decision to experience something deeper, something beyond yourself, but with yourself. So make that decision. And if you do make that decision, and you want to take your life to a whole new level, then these lovely people, they're absolutely awesome. So have a great day.
I would recommend Mind Mastery to anyone that wants to overcome any issue in their life, and 100%.
I would buy it for other people if I thought they'd use it, but there's no point in doing that. If you have you ever feel disconnected, you will always have somebody to be connected with on Mind Mastery.
I would recommend Mind Mastery to everyone. Even if you don't think there's improvement that you need to make or specific steps that you need to take to improve your life, everybody can use support. Everybody can use people to guide you. We all need those kinds of guides, and reaching out to somebody, there's no shame in learning, there's no shame in asking for help, and I feel that Mind Mastery truly gives that help and support that I definitely was looking for, and that everybody can help and use a little bit.
You've got nothing to lose. You can try and find the answers everywhere else. You can waste that time, but if you give Mind Mastery a try, you won't regret it. There's so much you don't know about yourself. There's so many answers that you're looking for, which you can find in Mind Mastery.
I would say definitely join Mind Mastery. You've got the support. Joseph has got so much, to give, and so much for everyone to learn. And you have the great support with Joseph and his wife Melissa, as well as the people in Mind Mastery.
The Mind Mastery community, the online part, is an amazing group where everybody is so friendly, so supportive of one another. There is never a negative word. You can log on at any time and there will always be someone who will listen to what you've got to say, and the feedback and the positive comments are amazing. I've travelled all the way from the UK to come to San Diego and be a part of this first seminar, and there are people here from all over the world. It's been an amazing experience. There's such a good vibe, the rapport with everybody. It's amazingly well humoured as well. Although it's very serious stuff that we're doing here, it's also great fun.
You even before meeting you in person, seeing the videos, participating in the live calls, I never feel that there's a screen in between. I feel a connection even through the cyberspace, and same with the other people as well. I feel definitely a connection. You are so passionate about what you do, and it comes through whenever you give, whether it's a process or it's a spontaneous live Facebook chat after a run or something. You really live what you teach, and it comes through very genuinely. So Joseph is a very genuine, loving, giving, warm person.
Joseph, I think, is amazing. He's done amazing work, and he's helped me a lot. As I said, I don't know where I would be if I hadn't met Joseph. He's helped me in so many ways, and I don't think I could give back what he's given to me, and all I could say is thank you.
Joseph is, first of all, I just think he's an excellent hypnotherapist. That's just an absolute given, okay? In terms of running Mind Mastery, I think he's a professional. He's done this by himself. He's self-educated, self-taught. He's been on the journey. He's overcome a lot of things, so he can really teach you. He's walked the walk, and now he's talking the talk, so he can do both. And the thing that's really great is, like I said, he continues to support you throughout the process. And my highest compliment is that he is a kind and caring man. And that makes all the difference.
Okay, so I don't know if Joseph Clough knows this, but I went online, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I was trying to deal with a driving phobia. By the way, this weekend, I've been letting other people drive me all over, okay? And somebody was telling me how great this person was, and I went and listened, and I started working with whatever stuff for free. For a year or two, I was working for free with all these hypnosis, and it was helping me so much. And as soon as my mastery came on, didn't pull the trigger right away. It took me a couple months, but as soon as I felt like, okay, I have to do this, I did, and Joseph Clough has helped me so much. I would give anything to help him.
Joseph, the hypnotherapist, his work has been really amazing. I've tried other types of therapy and hypnosis before, and it's helped, but it's never resonated as much as Joseph's work has. You know, I've learned and I've grown so much with Joseph's work, and being here on the weekend and meeting him in person now as well, he's a real stand-up guy. He's fantastic to be around. He's great fun, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to be here.
Joseph is awesome. He is a legend, and he's my hero. He always knows, he always has the answers, but he never gives them to you. You have to find them yourselves, but he gives you the cues. And Joseph often says that you have it in you, and that's true. And he just brings it out. He knows the buttons to press, and you just got to press them.